Hi there, it's Peter from the Romford Horror Film Festival, and I'm here with Jan Frame, who's the cinematographer for Daytime Nightmare. Jan, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Great stuff. So, Katrina Gray is the writer-director of this film. When did you first meet Katrina and start collaborating?
I met her already many years before the movie. She's a good actress in a Bangkok and Thailand film scene, and we met on some other various projects, short films, stuff like that. And then when she became to direct and produce this Daytime Nightmare, her own movie, then she chose me to be the cinematographer for it. So that's when we embarked on the journey.
Okay, and how did you yourself become involved as being a cinematographer in the first place? What's your background in film?
It came more like from a photography hobby, which slowly over the years, once I moved to Thailand, I've been living in Thailand for the last 11 years, and over there it just slowly become project after project. It's kind of crystallized, like that's the direction where I want to go.
So it's a psychological thriller. Yes. Did you and Katrina talk about certain things that you both wanted from the film in terms of I don't know, technique, or you tell me, what kind of things did you discuss when you went to plan to shoot the film?
We were mostly prepping regarding the script, figuring out how to portray the scenes better. What kind of feelings we want to get out of it, and working with the locations that we had, because it's always, especially in Thailand, it's a bit hard to find so to say, like, cool locations that doesn't look too Asian, So basically that was the challenge we had to do there.
What was your biggest challenge in terms of technical? Was there anything? I mean, obviously in Thailand, is there anything about that location in particular that's difficult to shoot?
The biggest challenge in Thailand, usually what you have is like the Thailand itself is like, because it's so hot in there, right? So you always have problems with everybody sweating, and you have to choose very careful the clothing you wear, so you just don't get stains in a minute. Yeah. And then obviously also time pressure on because we shot it for like in 2 weeks.
Okay.
So you have to kind of go through it, like you have to do a lot in one day.
Sure.
So that's why we had to like think about the prep a lot, and also on the day be like literally on the same page, so we can utilize the time as best as we can.
Sure. So 2 weeks was the shoot.
Yeah.
How far in advance of that, before that, were you discussing with Katrina what was the development time?
Yeah, I think around like a month before that.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we saw some locations. We figured out. I made like shot lists for the scenes. Broke that down. So we were working on that, like, so also to save time, because like a lot of places, many scenes you figure out, hey, this will work as a nice one-er or something, right? So we can save a lot of time in that instead of going into like so many setups to get like so much coverage, right? So yeah, that was the process basically.
Have you worked with Katrina since, or are you planning to?
We definitely plan to. Yeah, I think we're both happy the way it turned out, and she's also, I think she's thinking about moving to England and Europe. Okay. So then definitely I hope there's something more in the future for us.
For yourself, are you working on films now, or have you got some more planned? What's your
because it's been kind of slow, obviously, because of the COVID, and I moved from Thailand to England only last year. Okay. And I managed to shoot a period piece short movie. I did my own short movie, and now I'm planning to do another like kind of romantic comedy, which is in the works. But everything just keeps being pushed, and so it's hard. And plus, obviously, I'm in a new place now where don't know anybody, so it's building the network, building the contacts, and but it looks like things gonna happen. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Cool. Have you seen it on the big screen yet, this film?
No, I'm very excited.
Oh, for the first time?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Because I was after we shot it. Obviously, I was in the editing room, and we were like basically just choosing the best takes. Because as a cinematographer, you always like when you shot it in your head, you're like, oh, I remember that and that, what was good. So I helped with that. But after that, I haven't really seen it.
Great.
I was really surprised by the trailer. I really loved that, and so I'm looking really forward to it, especially on the big screen.
Yeah, definitely. In terms of inspirations, do you have any cinematographers that you admire or that you've studied, or or photographers? Anyone that you're a fan
the way I see it, I think there's a specific approach to a specific project, right?
Okay.
So I don't really single out anybody in particular. It's more like, oh, what am I shooting now? If I'm shooting a comedy or I'm shooting a horror film, then you start to like kind of look into those ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's very hard to like isolate. Same like with music, you know. It's like if somebody asks me what's your favorite band or artist, I can't answer the question, you know, because everything works if it's good, right? And everything has its purpose and time. And
Yeah, it's a great way of looking at it. Yeah, everything it very depends on mood and things like that.
Exactly. Yeah. Because you can't apply just one. Oh, I'm doing this, and that's it, right?
So how do you approach maybe a comedy differently to a horror as a cinematographer? Is there things that you specifically think about, or is it a subconscious thing?
Definitely, yeah. Like things like lighting, camera movement, you know, because in comedy you want it kind of smooth and flowing, right? Mm-hmm. For most of the time, and the lighting is more like flattering and everything, and then in the horror you want to go like more obviously dark and gritty and more shake, like, you know, and stuff like that. Yeah, and again, as I said, like depends on the situation. You know, that's what you always have to kind of like. Same what happened when we were shooting it, right? We had one plan how we went inside, right? It's in the scene, but then once you're in the location and actors are there and everything, then you suddenly start to feel that like, hey, you know what? I think this would be much better, right? And everything. Oh, your shoulders go out the window, but you end up with actually better things. So you have to just be flexible and, you know, and see what's the best for the situation.
Yeah. So we're at a horror festival. Are you a horror fan yourself?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you have a favourite horror film or a few?
I like something like Hereditary.
Okay.
I love that.
Yeah.
Obviously, old school classics, yeah, Shining and, you know, stuff like that. And there's so many, yeah. But definitely, yeah, fan, and I'm looking forward to see other films as well, yeah.
Great stuff, yeah, and thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Having me. Enjoy the film.